Still have a little sawdust on here. Okay, my name is Sam Moore. If you're new to the channel, if you've never been here before, I am someone who is absolutely obsessed with photography and videography. I do it for a living. I own a production company, and I mainly work in the outdoor hunting and fishing industry. If you're here because of the title of the video, you might kind of be confused. I absolutely am infatuated with fishing. Have been for most of my life, especially bass fishing. I used to compete around the country in college, and I've again worked in the industry pretty much ever since college. So today I have something that I came across. A buddy of mine, actually from Canada, sent me a box that he got at a show, and it's a tackle box. And I've never. Let me just. All right, let's just get into it. I was gonna explain a little bit about it, but I figured I'd just get right into it. I feel like I'm like hiding behind this thing, like it's like a. Okay. First and foremost, a catalog. And we just got a lot of stuff here, so let's just do a little time lapse of me taking it out and getting everything laid out. Let's talk about BUZBE. Maybe I shouldn't have that like crinkle on my mic when I do that. Let's talk about BUZBE. I'm gonna feel really bad if that's like not how you pronounce it. Like it's definitely BUZBE, like, but if I pronounce it wrong, I apologize. So yes, I got in contact with one of these boxes from a friend of mine. I was really intrigued by them, and first thing I thought of was like, I've never seen this before, like ever seen this before. So I had to have one. Got my hands on one. Ended up running into the guy who owns the company at the Classic. Let me just silence my phone real quick. First thought was like, who are these guys? Like, I've never seen it before. There's literally like 2 tackle tray manufacturers out there, and a third now, but like, Flambeau, PLANO, and then Best Mafia came to the scene, a few years back. But there really isn't anyone else making boxes. At least not like mainstream bass stuff that you'd see like in a Bass Pro Shops or a Cabela's or something like that. So originally I was like, yeah, who the heck are these guys? I got my hands on them, and they're completely like different than your typical tackle boxes. But the reason I'm going and making this video is because I already had one of these. And I liked it so much that I reached out to the guy and negotiated for what I do behind the camera for some goodies. I'm just gonna go right into it. I'm just gonna open a box. So latches are really solid, like super solid. They have a seal on them, which is what you'd expect from like a higher end one, right? Or higher end box. It's super heavy dude, like it's thick. It isn't like super heavy, but it like definitely feels like really solid, right? Like it feels like it's just really solid. Yeah, I guess that's all I gotta say about that. The coolest part about this entire program, screw the box, screw the seams, everyone's got seams, everyone's got good box these days, especially the higher end stuff, is that. That is the absolute coolest part. So I'm gonna pop some of these out, and again, you saw the layout, right? Like you saw like the layout. How this is just how it comes standard. I think when you order like what they call it, a Colony 28, it's like comes with like a couple of each, like some of the smaller ones, some of the bigger ones. But they have like a Lego. I'm gonna call it Lego, but it probably isn't, or is something a little bit different. It's, I don't want to like downgrade it, calling it a Lego, but it's kind of like a Lego. It's like a plug and play system that allows you to just like put whatever kind of organization you want. Again, you want like longer crankbaits. You want something that's like terminal tackle. You want something that's like jigs or spinnerbait, something that's a little wider. It's a little overwhelming because there's like so much like to do and be able to like put in here. In terms of like how you have your bins laid out, I mean. So I just got a bunch of them. I got a bunch of bins, and without making too much of a mess here, I'll show you what else. Like, so you can order like, this is like a customizable 1x3 bins, right? And they come 2 in a pack. Got some over here. That's a 2x3 again. Here's a 6-pack of the 1x1s. So like hooks, terminal tackles, stuff like that. Tungsten, more 1x1s. I got 2 2x2s, and like the packaging, the branding, everything is just super clean, which I was really impressed by. Okay, so I know this is a little much. It's overwhelming. I got a lot of stuff I'm gonna unravel here, but the reason you came to this video was because I said, are these question mark better than the Plano Edge boxes? Plano Edge boxes are by far the biggest advancement in terminal boxes and such in the last probably 3 or 4 years. I think Bass Mafia came in the scene and really crushed the fact that they really put more time and effort into about how we store our tackle. And then I think Plano was kind of stagnant that way. But then Plano had probably 2 or 3 years to sit back and say, okay, we want to make the best ones ever. And they built them. I shot a lot of that promotional content, believe it or not. A lot of stuff with Kevin, with Mark Rose, with Brett Chapman. I shot a lot of that promo stuff they launched at ICAST. And awesome dudes. They all loved it. They all had their head behind it. And like their R&D was insane. And like Kevin was showing me things like, yeah, I did this because of that. And I was like, they're great boxes. Don't get me wrong. But for a standard, like what people would call 3700, or what this is like called a 28, a Colony 28, for this standard size box, for the one that you guys have 5, 6, 8, 10, 12 of these lined up in your boat, the ones that I have in my boat, I think these might be better. So why are they better, Sam? Like what makes these so much cooler? They kind of look a little bit like a Plano Edge with the yellow and with the clear. And well, for starters, the Plano Edge has, again, 3700 style, standard size tackle box here, tackle tray, has that one arm like lever thing. And the thought process behind it was great. I'm sure if you get used to it, it'd be great. But I remember when I was filming and messing around with it, like it just felt a little weird for me. You had to like kind of pop and lift up and then it would open. And for me, when I pull these out of the box, like on my bin, right? Like you lift it up, you pull it out, I set on my lap or set on the thing, like my hands are free. I don't need to necessarily do just one. It's not like I have my rod on my other hand. It's not like I have a fish in the other hand. I'm like trying to cry one. Like it's quick, right? So I don't mind the double latch. You know, if there's a single latch that worked great, I wouldn't be opposed to it. But I'm no way, shape, or form like downgrading these things because they have a double latch. I mean, that's silly. The seam is great. Again, plug and play is ridiculous. I'm gonna miss a few things, so I'm just gonna go ahead and look at this because the guy gave me a rundown when we were at the Classic. Okay, so they call it industrial strength, which again, every high-end tackle tray is gonna say that. These things really do feel really solid. And you can tell when you pick them up from the hinges to how they feel. I would be willing to bet that they feel as good for sure, if not maybe even better than the Plano Edge boxes. In terms of their construction, I mean. They're buoyant, which I just learned now. I don't know how it's even possible. Oh, okay. So they're probably buoyant because the seal, so there's air in there, and then hence they won't. I wonder if you put one of these full of tungsten. I mean, obviously a lot of tungsten would sink, but like, what about a jam full of jerk baits or crankbaits? Like something that's like maybe, or even jigs, something that's not tungsten, because tungsten I think would probably sink, but. That'd be interesting to see if they'd actually stay, you know, float. It's saying they're buoyant. They do have like a little slit that goes through like the edge of these, and you can put like a cable through them and it like locks them all together. They call it like their security on it, which makes sense. This says modular internal bins. I've kind of already went over that. It's all these guys you can mess around with. I don't think we really need to go too much into this. The gasket, the sun protective, they're rust resistant. Which if you guys have seen, like, I know Flambeau and Plano have their like Rust-Oleum-ish or rust, something like that. Some kind of technology that prevents things from rusting. I've still had stuff rust and pretty much all of it. They say it doesn't. I'm guessing this is the same technology. Maybe something similar, maybe it's better. I don't really know. I don't buy a box because it doesn't have rust in it. If I'm not taking care of those bins, like enough where the water's out, I'm not really doing my like job right, so. I'm just gonna start taking all of these out without trying to make too much of a mess. Yeah, look, there's like 1x3s, 1x4s, there's a bunch of them. They're really cool. Let's start with the jerk. Look, that was probably pretty loud. Can you even hear what I'm saying over here? If I shake it over here? Probably not. Let's start with the jerkbait box. We're just gonna, yeah. Oh, that kind of makes me cringe. Okay, old box, out of here. Okay, so this is their 3-inch. It holds a shadow wrap. It's a shadow wrap, right? Yeah, it's just low sinking. Perfect. Now, if I get some of the bigger ones, it might be a little more difficult. Like, I got some 110s in here, and I got some bigger ones that are like more for Florida jerk baiting. Yeah, these are all vicious ones. I don't even make these anymore. Yeah, this is my old jerkbait box, so I do not typically Okay, but it fits. So I'm gonna attempt to go like, let's see here. What if I go like that? Nope, that doesn't work. I don't want there to be any empty like space. I want, you know what I mean? I want it to be like a, and I bet you anything there's a layout chart somewhere that I'm missing. Maybe go like that. Boom, 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 boom. Nope, they still won't fit if I do that.
1 minute, 37 seconds later.
Okay, boom, done. All my jerk baits that were in the one box, it wasn't necessarily crammed full, but it is now in this box. So yeah, mission accomplished. We got one transferred. One thing I want to point out too before we go on to the next one, I'm noticing these grooves. Oh snap, that's nice. Okay, so like once, I wonder if I could do like a tower and see how like solid that actually ends up being. They got these like little grooves. I don't know if you can see it, little grooves on here, right here. So they stack like on top of each other. Like you see, it's like they don't fit and then they like lock. That's sick. Okay, the next one I'm gonna make is gonna be a squirrel box. This is a box of a bunch of the original prototype with the scamps from 13. Some of them have hooks on them, some of them don't, but they're a different shape, and that's why I want to go with this one. So I'm hoping we can kind of do like one crankbait per area. These things are absolutely gorgeous, and I don't want them all chipped up. They're nice crankbaits, they're a little expensive. I want to keep them in their own individual areas if I can. All 2x2. Or sorry, 1x2. Looks nice. Gonna take this tag off. All right, let's transfer the goods. It is a perfect fit. So in that case, this box is gonna look great, I think. The same way, they look phenomenal. Everything closes, and that right there is a box of pure, like, I mean, come on, that's like freaking sick. Yeah, I'm all about that. Again, they only come in a 3700 or 3750, whatever they call them, you know, the standard size, the one that everyone gets. Again, that's just the drawbacks of a smaller brand. They're starting out, they just don't have that product assortment like some of the other people do. But for this box specifically, they crushed it. So that's pretty much it. I'm gonna quick snap my fingers and make all this disappear before we wrap things up. Okay, I love the beauty of cutting and editing. Okay, so that's it. That's a wrap. That is done. We're done talking about fishing, done talking about those boxes. If you guys are new to the channel, first, thanks for coming. I dabble on the film side of things as well as the fishing and the hunting side of things. It's a beautiful thing because I get to work in the industry that I love and do the things that I love to do, but I guess I could call it work. So if you're here because of the camera stuff, you know, because you've seen photos, whatever, make sure you check out the playlists that are labeled. So I have some how-to videos, I'll have basic shooting videos, I have some gear reviews, stuff that's all more photo video. If you're here for the fishing side of things, I'll also have other playlists specifically for that, whether it be vlogs and fun fishing to tackle reviews, all that fun stuff. So I hope you guys enjoyed the new area. I'm excited to have it. And we're gonna have a lot more videos to come, and especially over the next few months, because I'm working on something, a project that's gonna be pretty cool, that dabbles on the side of both hunting, fishing, and kind of photo and video stuff. So again, thanks for watching, guys. Please subscribe if you haven't, and we'll catch you next time.